I am so excited to learn about Hadley. She's just so freaking cute and feisty. Tell me about her. Tell me about her personality.
Hadley is so resilient. She's funny, and she's silly, and she's goofy, and she's so smart, and she loves her brother and her dog. She likes to snuggle. She gives the best snuggles.
She's infectious to be around. You just want to be around this child, and that's what we love the most about her.
She's such a brave little girl. She's been through so much. Hadley was, she was born 26 weeks, 4 days, so she was a premature baby.
From the first time we met her at 1 pound, she fought for every breath she's had.
She spent 91 days in the NICU, and at 5 months old, she had her first seizure. And we were admitted to the hospital later that day, and she was diagnosed that afternoon. We didn't know anybody that had epilepsy, and the few people I did had a seizure maybe once every few years. You know, they were still working and they were still living their life. So when you get this news about your daughter has epilepsy and there's a 60% chance this med's gonna work, was awful.
And I remember telling that to the neurologist, like, you're gonna tell me that only 60%, that's the best you got for me? Come on, it's not good enough.
Yeah, I have to say, getting an infantile spasms or epilepsy diagnosis is absolutely gut-wrenching.
We started steroids and the spasm stopped. It was great. And then 4 or 5 months later, she relapsed, and that was hard. So we started another medication for infantile spasms, and again, they stopped quickly. They stopped within 3 or 4 days, which was great. And then she had her longest stretch of seizure freedom, which was about, I don't know, 5, 6 months. And at the end of the summer, she relapsed again, and that was just hard because at that point, we kind of knew, okay, we're not one of the lucky ones. We're gonna have to really fight this.
You get it?
And at that point, I think we knew, okay, she's not doing well. She's essentially, she's dying. She was losing skill. She wasn't sitting anymore. She wasn't smiling anymore. She wasn't laughing anymore. She was a zombie all day. So at the end of 2019, we reached out to the Cleveland Clinic, and they did a whole workup on her. And so they said, you know, she's a candidate, however, there's a 20% chance that it'll help her. And so she had a lobectomy done on March 6th of 2020. It was a 6-hour surgery. She did great. They removed the frontal, temporal and occipital lobe on the left side of her brain, and she recovered quickly. She was doing well, and she wasn't having seizures. We were so excited. And then 6 weeks after her surgery, she had a spasm again. And I think at that point, my heart dropped because I knew, okay, well, we're not in that, 20%.
Hi, good job.
I think that there is a piece of your experience that it speaks to this desperation and how desperate our community is for these answers.
Good one. Good.
I look at both of you and, parents of children with epilepsy or disabilities, we often hear so frequently that, how strong we are and, how do we do it? And what I don't think that people necessarily understand is that if they were in our shoes, they would do it too, because you do everything that you can for your kiddo, right? Excuse me, you fight and you fight. And what do you wish that people knew?
I think I wish people understood how serious it is and how hard it is. It can be devastating to families, and it's hard, and it affects the kid, it affects the parents, it affects the siblings, it affects grandparents, it affects aunts and uncles, it affects everybody. And I just hope with just more research, we can find better options for medications that don't have such crappy and awful side effects. I hate giving Hadley medication where she's gonna sleep for 4 hours because she's so sedated, or she's gonna be out of it for a few weeks because she's trying to just adjust to a new medication where who knows if it's gonna work? You know, the chance of it working is what, 50%? And that's not good enough.
What is it about Cure Epilepsy that gives you hope?
Funding for research. Yeah, it's pretty simple. At this point, we've exhausted 16 meds. You know, we're not solving this problem with an inside-the-box solution. It's got to be outside the box. It's got to be something new, inventive, creative.
Good. Good job.
You asked the question earlier of, you know, what do people say, how do you do it? You don't have a choice. You just do it. And, you know, if every day is one day at a time, and you're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days. You celebrate the good and you get through the bad. That's epilepsy. When we started in the NICU, we put a sign up before we knew anything about her future with epilepsy. It said, though she's little, she is fierce. That, to us still, to this day, is like, how ironic that we started her life with that, not knowing anything about seizures, epilepsy, infantile spasms, any of it. And that's still like what we live by with her.
Good job. You did so good. Yeah.